the new regulation on political advertising is a part of our democracy action plan, of the democracy action plan of the European Union. The aim is to introduce full transparency when it comes to political advertising, both online and offline. That means that the citizens will know who says what, why, for which election, and paid by whom. There will be full disclosure about the campaign, about the candidate, about those who support candidates, about those who pay the campaign of the candidate. And this is very, very important, this full transparency, which won't apply only to former political actor, but to any actor which carries out an activity designed and liable to influence the outcome of an election. And also we give an answer to the need to protect our democracies from disinformation and foreign interference. We ban the possibility for non-EU actors to finance political advertising campaign in the 3 months ahead of the election, and we strengthen the protection of our freedoms, of our data. Sensitive personal data cannot be used for political advertising. The other personal data can be used only if each of us provide consent. So I think that from the transparency perspective and from the accountability perspective, we really take a very important step ahead in the European Union, and I think it is also a model for the rest of the world. Yeah, today, if you are an influencer and you are paid by a candidate like me to talk about the candidate, and you go on YouTube or you go on Instagram or on another social networks, and you are paid to do so, nobody knows. We do not ban anything, but with our new law, the influencer will, under a remuneration, they will promote candidates, they will try to have an influence on the outcome of a referendum, they will have to say it. So we ask also to the influencer, like to anybody else, full transparency. If an influencer gets a remuneration to promote someone, to promote the political parties, to promote a yes or no in a referendum, he will have to fully disclose all this. Certainly, it is very interesting also for the member of the Congress to hear what we have done in Europe, because the issue at stake around political advertising, about transparency in our democratic processes, about financing of the campaign, it is an issue which concerns each democracy and concerns also a big, important democracy like the US. I think that it is very helpful for those that in Washington wants to increase transparency of political advertising, what we have done in Europe. And what as member of the Congress tell us is, I mean, it's very important what you do, because when we talk about this issue here in Washington to the platform, they always tell us it is impossible. Then you do it in Europe, and then we go back to the platform and say it's not impossible, only you don't want to do it. This is why, I mean, this dialogue, transatlantic dialogue among members of the European Parliament and the Congress is so important, because we can inspire each other and we can together increase the protection of our democracy and the transparency of our electoral campaigns. And in April, we will adopt the new legislation on artificial intelligence. We call it Artificial Intelligence Act. It is certainly a comprehensive approach to regulate artificial intelligence, which is, I mean, the first time in the world that this happens. On one side, we want certainly to promote research, to promote information, and I mean, we lay down rules on the way of, promoting innovation and research in the field of artificial intelligence. On the other side, we want to protect our fundamental freedoms and our fundamental values. So there are high-risk activities which we are going to ban. We don't want, for example, artificial intelligence to be used to do social scoring. I mean, to observe us and to decide whether we are good citizens or bad citizens. We don't want mass surveillance. We want to regulate biometric data identification in a strict way. So we want to avoid the abuses and the risk for our fundamental freedoms that are linked to artificial intelligence. I think that this is certainly a very important step ahead. I also think that this can influence the regulation, the approach to artificial intelligence in other parts of the world. President Biden has adopted a few months ago an executive order on artificial intelligence. The executive order applies only to the activities of public institution, federal administration and public institution, but the point that are raised, are tackled in the executive order of Biden are very similar to the point that we address in our artificial intelligence regulation. So I think that there is scope for cooperation between European and America on this at international level, at OECD level. So I think that, also with artificial intelligence, we take a very important step ahead as Europeans, also at global level. I think that we have achieved amazing result in this term with the new regulation on digital issues. We have introduced a new law on digital services, which is based around the principle what is illegal offline must become also illegal online. So increase our protection as consumer. We have introduced a new law called the Digital Market Act to ensure pluralism and free competition in a single market on digital issues and that fight against monopolies or oligopolies. We have introduced a new regulation on political advertising, on artificial intelligence. So, we have really approved a package of very important reform for a digital single market, for a better protection of our democracy, for more transparent electoral process. Next term, we'll have to find the resources to promote investment and innovation. I think that the time of the regulation is over. We have a very comprehensive package of rules. Now we have to concentrate on how to promote innovation in the digital sector and also to ensure that the enforcement, the implementation of all this package, of this new digital package is properly done, both at European level, at national level. That means that the European Commission and the national authorities in charge of enforcement will have to provide the necessary human and financial resources to ensure a very effective enforcement of these new rules.